Hello guys, welcome to Sim UK. This is going to be an extremely brief video just to tell you about Flight Sim World. Now, if you've signed up to the email mailing list for Flight Sim World, you've probably got this same video, you've probably got the same email, I meant to say. But maybe there are a lot of people who haven't signed up to that, so this is partly for them. But also, you may have glossed over this and thought, oh good, Flight Sim World is coming out, and missed an important piece of information. As a way of showing our appreciation for your support, we will be gifting a copy of Flight Sim World to everyone who invested in Dovetail Games Flight School. We can't wait to welcome you aboard. That is a very, very nice thing for them to do. Okay, I admit, this is Dovetail Games. They make their money in DLC. We know this. Everybody knows this. Hopefully, though, Flight Sim World is going to have a decent amount of content to start with. And if they're going to do a Flight Sim World update, maybe, hopefully, potentially, they'll throw out some free DLC stuff. Now, I'd like to see, I mean, basically, this is Microsoft Flight Sim Enhanced. They've updated it to 64-bit, and they have made better utilization of GPU and CPU cores. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives coming to it. They're going to go into a lot of detail about the way that dials sort of resonate and shake and vibrate with the engine sort of shaking the aircraft. My God, this is well scripted, isn't it? Let's watch the video and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
Flight Sim World for me is an incredibly exciting challenge. It's about moving flight simulation forwards. We're bringing Flight Sim World to early access. We believe it makes no sense to work in isolation, so we wish to work with the community, engage with them to shape the future of Flight Sim World over the coming weeks and months.
Things have changed dramatically in the flight simulation space over recent years, not just in hardware configurations and the available power, but in the demands of the audience. And what we're trying to do at Dovetail is provide a platform that will stand the test of time over the next 5-10 years.
Dovetail has listened a lot to the community. Being able to unleash what the hardware can do today is very good for the longevity. So we moved from DirectX 9 to DirectX 11. We changed from a 32-bit application to a 64-bit application, and we also tried to rebalance the usage between the CPU and the GPU.
What our flight sim offers is the opportunity to really appreciate the aircraft in a way not previously possible. We've integrated a host of new technologies: physically based rendering, image-based lighting, ambient occlusion.
We've captured even minute details in the aircraft, such as gauges wobbling under motion, the perspex shimmers. The systems in the airplanes are all faithfully represented.
You really feel as though you're in that cockpit at 3,000 feet.
We work with a number of third-party developers who have years of experience of creating top-quality flight simulation content, to the extent that we've engaged with some of them to actually provide content which is part of the core Flight Sim World software.
As a pilot, you care hugely about the environment that's around you. It has to be accurately portrayed in Flight Sim World in order for you to fear it.
For those people who want to take it to the next step, we have the Pro Mission tool, which will allow you to use the same tools that the designers at Dovetail are using to create content.
I'm really passionate about aviation and aeroplanes. Being able to work on Flight Sim World is sort of a dream come true, really. You know, it allows me to try and bring that involvement that I've had with aeroplanes and all the finer details into the simulator.
So sounding and looking pretty good, I'd say. I'll be honest with you, when it was announced all that time ago, when Stephen Hood stood up and at the same time X-Plane 11 did their announcement, I really felt that Flight Sim World was dead. I thought they'd missed the opportunity, they'd failed to hit the mark. And when Dovetail Games Flight School came out, I felt it was so similar to FSX. They hadn't really improved anything. It was like a rehash of the old system, and it was a major disappointment. I almost completely wrote them off, and I felt that Stephen Hood, incidentally, who started off with no aviation experience at all, I thought he'd have left the product a long time ago, but he's still there. He's still the executive producer. And one thing he said which really engaged or resonated with me was the fact that he wants people to fear it. And that's absolutely spot on there. He's not missed the mark with that statement. He's probably stolen it from one of us, but there you go. Fearing the aircraft is absolutely what aviation is all about. You want to be in control all the time. You want to be prepared all the time, but you want to know that if you're not on the ball, things are going to go bad. And that's perfect. That sounds really good. The other thing I want to talk about is Daniel Dunn. He's the artist guy. Clearly, he's passionate about aircraft, which is fantastic. And I said earlier about the dials shaking with the aircraft and stuff like that. That looks fantastic. I really, really like what they've done there. The close-up views looks really good. They're going to go early access, which again is good. Now, some people take the mickey here, but they're giving, for those of us who bought Flight School, they're giving us this title for free. Good marketing ploy. Very sensible. Well done. I'm now engaged. I'm now excited, genuinely, about this title. Now, okay, I admit, in terms of aviation on this channel, there is a massive, massive gap. But there's a real, genuine reason, which I won't go into now, as to why that hasn't happened. But just please understand that it is coming. It is coming. Now, they've got a tool called Pro Mission Tool. Now, on the video, it looked like you could edit the aircraft and so on and so forth. I'm not entirely sure that's what the mission tool is all about. I could be totally wrong, and you can build your own aircraft using that tool. But I think what that tool is for is building missions. Now, for me, missions in FSX are something that I dearly, dearly love and enjoy. And the exclusion of having something like that in X-Plane 11 is a bit of a disappointment. So I'm glad to see that they're not only keeping that, but they're really promoting it by putting it on the very, very front page there, the front panel, missions. Excellent. And the ability for us to create our own missions and presumably add them to the Steam workshop. Very excited about that, I have to say. Bit surprised. I mean, I'm glad it was obvious they were going to have to move from DX9 to DX11. I'm just surprised they didn't push for DX12. Now, I'm not sure if that's something they're thinking about doing in the future or not, but the option was there, and they're talking about longevity of the product. I'd have thought DX12 was the place to start then, if that's what you were going to do, if you were thinking about long-term release opportunities. But, okay, they've gone DX11, which isn't bad, nothing wrong with DX11. Obviously, they've upgraded to 64-bit, which is great, and they're going to improve and enhance CPU and GPU usage. That means using all the cores available, at least. I hope that's what that means. Lots of lighting details, and it looks gorgeous. Let's be honest, it looks gorgeous. They do one thing that FSX has always not had that you find in X-Plane 11 is a really authentic flight model. I certainly feel like I'm flying an aircraft in X-Plane 11, but in FSX it was a bit too easy. So hopefully that's all going to change. I have to say, off the bat, super excited. Looking really, really spectacular. And yeah, I highly recommend that you sign up for information on this, because I am for one super excited. I didn't like Dovetail Live. I have to be honest with you. I was a bit anti it, but then at one point in my life I was anti Steam. So you can be won over. You really can. So I hope for those of you who haven't seen this or weren't aware of this information that this is in some way helpful. That's all from me. Take care of yourselves till next time. Goodbye.